Let me play you this voicemail from over the weekend. Well, we'll avoid talking about it right now, but next hour, the second segment, is what we're going to focus on. I'll wait till the kids get to school. But you can't not talk about Raymundo absolutely going berserk at Mike D's wedding. Ray, I posted a thing on Instagram where I was interviewing Ray in the airport, like a press conference after the night. And there's some clips kind of mixed in with Ray's antics at Mike's wedding. And I posted it just kind of funny. But people started going after Ray and Bay in this. And Caitlin came in like their bodyguard and was just attacking people. Did you see her?
No, I didn't. I avoid that stuff. My wife said, do not go to Instagram posts right now. People are attacking us. They're going very hard.
Well, I mean, if there's two people Caitlin love, it's Ray and Bay. And so someone wrote, I'll read you this comment. You seriously think your trashy wife's behavior is funny? You are an embarrassment to every they just curse a bit.
Oh.
And Caitlin goes, this is so rude. Ray and his wife are lovely people who would never go as low as to troll a stranger on the internet. Oh, my fiance blocks you because you can't talk to our friends that way. I haven't blocked him yet. I just saw that one.
Yeah,
She's just hoping.
I'm probably going to get on that. We'll talk about it later.
Absolutely. I'm open to talk about it.
Yeah, you have to be.
I can't wait to talk
You can't
about
act
Mike
like
D's
that.
wedding.
You can't act like that and not be open to talk about it.
But is he going to remember anything?
No, he doesn't remember a lot of it.
Exactly.
But we have video of every movie made. Mike D, let's talk to you for a second. Yeah. You didn't rain, and all week long it was going to rain, rain, rain.
Yeah, day came and sunny skies, all good.
It's like perfect.
Perfect.
You have your ring on?
I do have it on.
Does it feel weird?
It kind of feels normal. I like it.
Ooh.
You had a wedding, then the next day, what did you do?
The next day, we woke up, got some coffee, got some breakfast, and then just hung out and kind of enjoyed the first day as being a married couple.
In a hotel?
Yeah.
And so did you do anything special that day, or did you just hang?
No, nothing. We met up with some people before we flew out and then just hung out.
And so you're back at work today.
Yeah.
You didn't want to go anywhere?
No. I think we'll do something small this weekend and then something later in the summer.
So you will have a honeymoon?
Yeah, later in the summer.
You just didn't want to do it right now?
No.
Okay. And do you know where you're going to go, anything like that?
I think we're going to Arizona.
And any special place in Arizona? Why Arizona?
Scottsdale.
Yeah, it's nice.
My
It's
wife
awesome.
has never been, and we always wanted to go.
Yeah, it's a little frou-frou. Like, it's really nice. it's like you're like, wow, where'd they get all this money? Now you drive around like every car is like a Maserati.
Well, that's where we want to go.
Well, it's a good place to go. It's kind of intimidating to go there. Okay, well, the wedding was super nice. We go and we're sitting in little white chairs, and because I have a wedding coming up, I'm like, dang, I wonder how much these chairs cost to rent. Like, all this stuff now is happening in your head. And we're sitting, and we're like, I guess it's not going to rain. And they walk down, and Eddie looks at me and goes, is Mike D going to cry? And I go, oh, yeah, he's going to cry for sure. And Mike D gets up and says his vows, got a little emotional, but never cried.
No
Yeah.
tears.
I thought it was going to hit me. I think, like, right before I walked out, I had, like, this wave of emotion. And I think maybe I, like, psyched myself out a little bit that I didn't cry.
We finished the wedding. It was fantastic. You didn't see her, though, until she got there, right?
No, I didn't.
I noticed your head down as she was walking. Did you not want to see her until she got close to you?
Yeah, because I just felt like the waterworks were going to hit me. So I was like, when she walks down here, I'll take it in.
At what point did you actually look at her?
I think right when she, like, turned the corner and was, like, walking closer to the aisle.
And what happened with your emotions, your body?
I just got happy. Like, I thought I was going to be sad and, like, feel like I wanted to cry. But I was so happy that I just took it all in, and it was amazing.
So they get married, we go, and we have the reception, and Mike D did the ultimate, and just instead of being like, okay, here's some food, you guys go, it was like taco truck. Big, nice taco truck. We all went to it. He had a mariachi band.
Yeah.
What else? He had big cookies, and I kept going to people going, hey, can we get the cookies yet? Because nobody would get into the cookies.
And they were just sitting right there.
And everyone's like, I don't know if we can get the cookies yet. I'm like, no, they're sitting on the table. I went to like 5 people.
They're right there.
Here's the 2 things we did. Is they were like, okay, if you guys want to get to the taco truck, you can go now. Kayla and I went first.
Oh, yeah, first.
We went out the door and we're like, okay, we'll start. I was starving. And it was super good. Then we did cookies, and then we danced. And then I'll bring up a lot of the Ray stuff later, but when we did the line, what's it called, the send-off?
Yeah.
Ray was throwing glow sticks at people.
Oh, boy.
Did you see?
I heard, but I didn't see.
Somebody threw a cup too that hit you in the head. Did you?
Oh, I
feel
didn't.
that?
I didn't notice that.
That might have been Ray too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is I saw a cup come over my head and landed right on Mike D's head as he was walking down to the car to get married. And so, but overall, like the wedding was fantastic. I have to assume you felt good about it.
Yeah, I think our whole thing going into it, we didn't really have that high expectations aside of just having a party, and I think that's what we wanted to do. We didn't really do a lot of like traditional things like speeches or stuff like that. We just wanted to go full out party mode.
And how did you feel about Ray? Just quickly.
I thought he kind of brought the party to life a little bit.
Okay, there you go, Ray. Mike D said that Ray and Morgan win the hardest goers of the party award.
Yes, they went the hardest.
They went the hardest. All right, Mike. Well, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
He's back. He got married this weekend. He's back on the show today. But in about an hour, we'll fill you in on Raymundo's antics. Do you get embarrassed, Ray, or are you just like, that's Ray?
Well, I mean, the best way to explain it, in the moment of being drunk, you think what you're doing is a little obnoxious. You know you're doing that, but you think you're fitting in. And then you see the videos the next day, and you're like, wow, I definitely didn't fit in.
No, you're standing out.
At one point, Ray goes up to Caitlin and goes, hey, all you have to do is act like you really messed up. And Caitlin goes, you're not acting, bud. All right, let's play Dierks Bentley Living, Bobby Bone Show. We will get into all that, though, in an hour or so. Glad you guys are here. Thank you for being our friends. Call us. 877-77-BOBBY. That's our number. On Wednesday's show, 2 days, in this exact spot, we're going to put our patriotic Pimp and Joy line up. and we don't keep any of that money. We do patriotic because of 4th of July, and you can have the stuff 4th of July. But we're going to raise money for Staff Sergeant Majetic, who, was hit by an IED. He's had 80 surgeries. Just had a bad run of it since his injury. And he is definitely a hero to us, suffering from PTSD. And our goal is to build him a home that is compatible with his life now. And so on Wednesday's show at 8:30, 7:30 Central, where we are right now, we're going to put the stuff up. A lot of this stuff is limited edition, but we'd love for you to go to bobbybones.com in 2 days and get what you can and help out Army Sergeant Jerry Majetic and his wife, Mary Ella. We'll also have her and him on the show on Wednesday as well. So just a heads up, 2 days out from that. Coming up, there were a few things on airplanes. Number one, someone rushed the cockpit. They had to zip tie him. Number two, there was a story about a plane, and they're like, there's a dangerous device on the plane, so they held everybody for hours.
Oh, boy.
It's just one after the other with these airplane stories. And I have a theory as to why. I finally figured it out. In case anybody wants to know, I've got the reason why this is all happening. All right, that's coming up next. Today is going to be the day we eat the chocolate-covered cicadas. We were counting on them being in the mail this morning. If you look as the door opens, you'll notice the door is not opening because they did not come in the mail today.
Oh, thank goodness.
Maybe they.
Well, the mailman should have been here
lost.
like 10 minutes ago with them. The mailman showed up. He did not have chocolate-covered cicadas.
All right.
So that will not happen today, I'm sorry to say. But as soon as they get here, you know that door's going to open and we're going to eat those suckers. Let's talk to Kim in Nashville, who's on the phone. Hey, Kim, how are you?
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I was wondering if you could weigh in on some of the handling fees, the service fees, order processing fees on concerts, because my husband and I sat down over the weekend and planned out some of our concerts for the summer, and we were just slammed with a 30% to 67% service fee.
It's a good question because I will start to figure out Raging Idiot shows based on not just ticket price, but also I don't want people to be charged out of their mind with fees. And if there are a lot of fees, I'll just lower the price of the ticket. And so I don't know why they charge so many fees. I'm sure they have to make their money, but it also service fee, handling fee, the handling of the service fee, the service of the handling fee.
Handling.
And by the way, it ends up costing as much as the ticket cost. So I wish I was smart enough to know why all those things cost, but it is annoying. And I feel that way too when we're doing our shows. Because I'm like, I don't want people to have to pay out of their ears to just come and watch some music. I think we're all ready to watch some music. Where did you end up buying tickets to, Kim?
Well, Black Crowes, Brothers Osborne, we're looking at Amy and Vince at Christmas time. We just love music, and we love the Ryman, we love the Ascend, Breakstone. But it's interesting, over at Ascend, the fees vary based on who's playing. So I guess that plays into what you just said about the performer can reduce the fees.
Well, we can't reduce the fees that the venue charges, but we can reduce our ticket price a bit. So when you do get hit by the fees, you're not, swimming in a bill that's crazy. So it's not so much about the fees, but it's just like going, okay, well, instead of $40, let's do 37, and maybe that'll help a little bit. So that's the deal. Kim, I wish I had an answer for you, but I definitely understand your frustration. I just do it. We have to tackle it from the other side.
I'm old enough that back in the day, you could show up at the box office and buy your ticket and avoid the fees. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Well,
I
there's
don't
also
know.
like a processing, like internet fee, like things are just processed.
I think people just
differently
make things up.
online.
I think they just make up fees. I'm here to say I think
I'm
people
like-
they know we don't know, so they just make up fees and charge us money for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, thank you, Kim. Have a great day.
Thank you.
I
Bye-bye.
was no help to her except for understanding her frustration. I have a few airplane stories. First of all, we get on the flight and we're flying down to Mike D's wedding, and I'm like A26 on Southwest, so pretty close to the front. I fly enough that even if I don't check in, they're like, okay, we'll put you in the A group. So I'm there, and Caitlin's with me, and we're getting on, and we sit down. I always sit in the same spot on the right side of the plane, about a third of the way back, where there's a window, but there's also that blank panel that you can rest your head on. And so that's my spot every flight. And I sit there, and people start coming on, and we're getting closer to filling the plane up. And then I see somebody with a mask on. I'm like, well, that guy, his forehead looks familiar. And I go, that's Dennis Quaid. And so I was like, Kayla, is that Dennis Quaid? She was like, yeah. So Dennis Quaid boarded in like the C group.
Wow.
Gets on. There were no seats. Walks to the back. He's basically sitting by the bathroom. He sits kind of next to Morgan number 1, which I'm watching as I'm tweeting. I'm like, Dennis Quaid just sat next to Morgan number 1. He left his phone on the airplane when he left.
Oh.
He he was as normal of a passenger as anyone was. But there was Dennis Quaid, the rookie, getting on our Southwest
Yeah.
flight. Anyone else? Morgan, you were on our flight. You saw him?
Yeah, I was sitting next to Morgan number 1, and he was sitting right next to us, and he acted like a basic human, like came in after us. He had a Coke with 2 ice cups and 2 packs of snacks. Like, he was just living his best life. Nobody bothered him, and then he kind of took off as soon as the plane landed, and that's why he left his phone, is because he was trying to hurry off the plane.
So even though he was in the back, he jumped and just tried to get out of there?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
literally as soon as we were able to get up, he shot up from his seat because I think he was trying to avoid people talking to him.
Probably because I took a picture of him on the plane and was like, Dennis Quaid's on our
Okay.
plane!
Dang it,
Like,
bro.
I literally did one of those stalker pictures. And Caitlin goes, why are you doing that? I was like, because Dennis Quaid's on our plane. People need to see this. But yeah, he just got on, chilled, hung out. Did he ever go to the bathroom or anything like that?
No, he
Which
was
one do you think he did? 1 or 2?
he was just sitting there on his phone the whole time, like just either playing a game or doing something. He was something on his phone.
I'll
But
give you a couple plane stories here. A passenger on a Delta flight from Los Angeles to Nashville allegedly tried to breach the cockpit and hijack the plane on Friday.
Oh, my goodness.
Delta Flight Crew 386 crew members tackled and zip-tied the man before anyone was harmed. This is according to a Fox television station's report. Cell phone video shows some of the encounter, with a man in a Delta uniform wrestling with someone who is out of view of the camera behind a row of seats. Another angle shows he managed to zip-tie the suspect's hands behind his back. See, now our flight attendants are having to also do security.
Mm-hmm.
They're having to be cops as well. They're having to be bartenders. They can't give alcohol now. They got to. I just feel bad. It's like people in stores who work at a Kroger and someone comes in arguing, "I'm not putting my mask on," and now they got to be all of a sudden they got to be security in there too. Okay, that's story number one. They didn't. Did they have to land that plane early? It doesn't say in this story. I'd have been so ticked. I'd have probably gotten a couple kicks. If we had to land the plane
While
in
it
a
was
different,
down.
yeah. You're making us land in Salt Lake.
Punk.
Kick. They landed in Albuquerque. I'd have got a couple shots in.
Good.
Passengers on a flight arriving in Jacksonville were forced to wait on a plane for 3 hours after landing. Authorities had to delay the deplaning of the passengers after receiving reports of a possible device on the plane. The incident occurred when a Delta flight landed around 12:30 in the morning on Saturday. According to the news outlet, the FAA alerted the airport about a possible explosive device being on the plane. Passengers had no idea what was happening. A passenger was told, "I looked out the window, and I could tell we were not on the regular runway. We were on the furthermost runway. I think something had to be taken seriously. Nothing was found." Which, I wonder, was it somebody upset at someone on the plane being like, "Yeah, old Betty, I heard she's got," you know how they call from like a payphone? That stinks. You have to sit for 3 hours. That's almost as bad as being diverted to Albuquerque. And then finally, a 26-year-old man was removed from an American Airlines flight by authorities in Chicago on Sunday after causing a disturbance. A Chicago Police Department spokesperson told Fox News that the man was detained until the plane, which was traveling from Portland, Maine, got all the way in and landed. The incident just comes after the one where they, zip-tied the guy going to Nashville. Here's the reason all this is happening. People have gone insane from not being able to go anywhere for a long time. You're seeing this at sporting events, too, where people are throwing popcorn at people, ice. They're trying to fight with basketball players. We aren't ready. We need to have some sort of let's slowly integrate folks back into society. And everybody's gone crazy because they don't know how to act anymore.
Wow.
When you don't put yourself out with people and all of a sudden you're back with people and you're probably pretty stupid, too, this is what happens.
So is that what happened to Ray at Mike D's wedding?
Ray hadn't been out forever.
Interesting.
And all of a sudden he's out. He's going crazy.
Good theory.
I would have worried about him on a flight maybe, but he was so hungover when we saw him at the airport the next day.
He was all good on the
he's hurting. His head was just bobbed down. He was like, oh. We were surprised that you guys got to the flight on time, Ray.
Well, we were in bed by midnight, 7 hours of sleep. I had a great night's sleep. I felt good in the morning.
Where I knew Ray was going to get into some trouble before Mike's wedding, on Ray's Instagram story, he was taking pictures at a restaurant, and he had circled penny refill mimosas.
That's trouble.
Yeah, what is that?
And so I knew Ray had spent a few pennies on mimosas before he got there. He was going hard the night before. He was going hard all day leading up to it. And then he got there, and he was already... right when he got there, he was stumbling down the hill.
Yeah.
Did you just go too hard too early?
I hadn't been back to my college town in 7 years, so it was nostalgic for me as well. And then we also put down some drinks. So.
But your college town is not like Fayetteville, or it's Austin. It's huge. It's not a town. It's somewhere you live forever outside of college, too.
But it was crazy being back, though. It was just a lot of emotions, and then that leads to liquor stores and drinks.
It's not like
stuff.
College Station where you go just for college, right?
Yes. It's a big
It was
town.
a city
Big
where Ray
city.
lived forever.
I know.
Okay, that's what's a different version of what Ray did at Mike's wedding is happening on airplanes, right there. Okay, let's do Florida Georgia Line. Bobby Bone Show. Hit us up if you want. 877-77-Bobby. That's our phone number. 877-77-BOBBY. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this morning. Eddie, you go walk from West Virginia to Tennessee on what day now? The
The 20th.
That's a Sunday?
I mean, it's coming up. Yeah, Father's Day.
So less than 2 weeks, Eddie starts to walk from West Virginia to Tennessee.
That's right.
What started as a bit 4 or 5 months ago where Eddie's like, that's not that far. You're carrying your love from West Virginia to Tennessee, ain't that far.
Yeah, because the guy in the song's like, oh, I'm carrying your love
The
so
guy in the
far.
song is
George
George
Strait.
Strait.
Whatever.
Respect the name.
Wow.
The king of country music.
So we went to the listeners and said, hey, if we can raise $10,000 for Eddie's charity, which is a charity that deals with foster kids, National Angels, he'll do it. And so we raised $50,000. And so now Hyundai loved hearing about it, and they have donated $10,000 as well.
Wow.
So we are now up to $60. So you can't back out.
Yeah, no, I was never going to back out. But that's amazing.
So far, the B teams raised $50,000. Hyundai is donating $10,000. So we are now at $60,000.
That's awesome.
And the money doesn't get given unless you finish.
Right.
Oh.
So no pressure. No pressure. Look, man, I was never going to back out, but I'm telling you, this training process is a little tougher than I thought.
I saw you were walking actually on the street this time and not a treadmill.
Correct.
How far did you walk?
I walked about 6 miles on the street, brutal on the feet. Definitely,
Really?
Definitely different on pavement because you're talking about like going from sidewalk to
But
street
walking,
to-
just walking.
just
Well,
walking.
treadmills are designed to like be more comfortable. Like, I don't know, there's stuff inside the treadmill that's supposed to ease up stuff with your knees and your
Yes.
feet and your ankles and all the things. And the street, the pavement, it doesn't do that for you.
Pros and cons though, because like I see a McDonald's as a goal, and I'm like, ooh, I'm just gonna get to McDonald's.
Will you eat food along the way like that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
You need to fuel your body.
And your feet hurt now?
Not today. So I feel like today I'm gonna go for another 5 or 6 miles. But the calves hurt a little bit, the muscles. But I've been doing a little icy hot treatment on it, and definitely after walks, I'm icing them, like putting my feet in buckets of ice.
And you think you can finish this in 4 days of nonstop walking except for sleeping?
That's my goal. And I have Scuba Steve with me while I do it, so he's gonna push me along.
What's your wife think about you not being home for Father's Day?
She doesn't like it, but she knows that it's a big cause, it's a good cause, and that I'm doing this for good. She hates that I open my big mouth like that, but
What if it storms?
yeah. So people have been telling me again. I'm not talking to any trainers about this or any professionals that
Who needs
do
them?
this.
Yeah.
But our listeners are telling me good stuff. Like, hey, take 3 pairs of shoes in case it does storm. Then you don't really want to be walking long distances in wet shoes. So I can change my shoes out, an umbrella, things like that.
So you
Yeah,
take a
that's
multiple
smart.
pair of shoes, multiple pair of socks.
Yes.
And you're going to keep walking.
Yep. And then I'm thinking like bathroom. I mean, I'm going to be in the woods, so if I gotta go, I gotta go.
Wear a diaper. I was at the store last night. Listen, I went to Walgreens last night near the house, and I go and there's like adult men diapers.
Depends, yeah.
Well, not depends. It was a different kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the guy looked so happy wearing a diaper. He looked like he's 45 years old, smiling.
Loving
He
life.
looked like he's the happiest he's ever been wearing a
Huh.
diaper. And I was like, dang, maybe you just are that happy not having to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Okay, the 20th is when it starts. So Monday morning, when we're on the air, Eddie will be walking from West Virginia to Tennessee to raise that money.
That's right.
Good luck, my
Woo,
friend. Have
thank
you
you,
looked at the
man.
weather yet at all?
I have not. I don't.
Don't, because we looked at Mike D's wedding every day.
It said monsoon.
For like 2 weeks, it was like the hurricane's coming. And then it was sunny as all good. All
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's go over and check in on the news. Well, where do I start? Because there is quite the load here. There's a McDonald's chicken nugget that bears a resemblance to the Among Us characters on the little game you play on your phone.
Yeah.
It's like looks like a little alien with 2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone said, wow, it looks like a little character from that game. They put it on eBay. It sold for just short of $100,000
Oh my gosh.
because the nugget happened to be shaped like that.
What?
The McNugget listed by eBay user Polizna started at 99 cents, but after 184 bids, the item sold for $99,997. That is a crazy amount of money for a McNugget that just looks like a generic McNugget anyway. It looks like if there was a full McNugget, picture it in your head right now. Full McNugget, same size. If you clipped out the middle of the bottom and you had 2 legs there and that's
Yeah.
it, that looks like the nugget. They got $100,000 for that. I would have just eaten it. I wouldn't have thought 2 things about
Yeah.
it.
Nope.
Who knows what kind of McNuggets I'm eating that are shaped like crazy things I'm not even paying attention to.
We need to start examining our food.
I might have bought a Trump-shaped nugget.
Oh, dang! You
Ate
could have
it,
sold
didn't
that.
sell it. I know. What we should do is buy nuggets today and then see if we can figure out what shape they are and sell them on eBay. Apple employees are bashing new policy, cutting the work from home time. And they're like, we don't want to go back to work. We want to stay home. Hey, get your butts back to work. Why are you whining? Go get a new job if you don't like it. People have to go into work. If your job says, hey, we've actually figured out a way that this is good for us and you guys. You can work from home a little bit. For example, we can work from home a little bit if we need to. If I'm sick, if my throat's not killing me, I can put a microphone up in my bedroom if I need to. We figured it out. Doesn't sound the best. Or we have a studio at home too. We work from maybe a day a week. But get your butt back to work. If they're like, we need you in the office, you have to go to the office. So that's mostly a hey, quit your whining story. There's a golfer, Amy, that was just dominating this tournament called the Memorial Tournament. He had a 6-stroke lead. He was going to win this thing and make $1.7 million. They come up to him and they go, hey, you have COVID, and he had to get out of the tournament.
What? No way.
Mhm.
Why did it take so long for his results to come back?
Well, I think they just test him every couple days.
Oh. That is so sad. So, guy in second place was like, what up?
He's like, all right, I'm in.
John Rahm, he's a 26-year-old Spaniard, ranked number 3 in the world. One of the best golfers now, and he was crushing it. As he walked off the 18th green, they were like, hey, man, you got coronavirus.
Crazy.
You're not able to play anymore. And so if you bet on him, you still got your money.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they paid out the winners for him.
Well, that's good.
But he couldn't finish the tournament. He made no money. He does not get $1.7 million or anything, so he is out. Another story I saw, 48 people from the same small Canadian province were struck with a baffling mix of symptoms, including insomnia, impaired motor function, hallucinations, nightmares, visions of the dead, all in the same town. This is
Weird.
happening to them. A neurologist is working 12 hours a day to decipher the clues. There are tons of conspiracy theories for this one town in Canada. They're blaming the illness on cell phone towers, fracking, obviously COVID-19 vaccines.
Obviously.
Yeah. But they don't know what's going on
I'm
here.
going to check the water system.
You know what this reminds me of? Like back in December of 2019, when we read about this story in China, where it was like they didn't know what was going on, and we were like, "That's weird," and we didn't really think much about it.
Nope, not true. I was screaming it was coming for
Oh,
us.
well,
We
I
have the
didn't.
clips, and I was like, guys, this is gonna come here.
Okay, well,
Well, don't be
didn't.
yelling we, because I
Okay.
was going this. I was like, coronavirus.
We didn't know how to pronounce
How we
it.
can do
Yeah.
it. Well, either way, I guess it just seemed like it was something that was, in another country. So I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. But so can they figure this out, please?
The water thing's interesting because you feel like it would be something that's given to all,
Yeah, if
Like
everyone's feeling that way.
or these aliens are just upset that their stories are getting out.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say this too.
They're upset. They went to the websites and saw it.
I gotta say that, and I don't come on here and talk about ratings very often, but we were lucky that we were put on the air in a specific town in Canada, and they were like, "Hey, we're really gonna, be the first Canadian city to embrace you guys as a live show. We're on all over Canada in the evenings," and we were like, "Oh, great!" And so everybody was kind of nervous. We go on in Windsor, Ontario, and they were like, "It's the first one. Will it be any good?" And so we go on, and in one ratings period, went to number 1. And so just let me say, we're very grateful that you guys would take a chance on us. And we are super excited that we could come on and deliver for you the ratings that you felt we could. And so I just thought that was great. There's a whole big news story about it today. And so there we are. We're number 1 in Windsor, Ontario.
Let's
Wow.
go.
Who would have thought it?
That's
is what I'd
awesome.
say. Usually it takes about a year, honestly, to get any sort of rating in a place because who wants to listen to anything new? I don't. I don't like when my news anchors change. I don't like in the morning news. They're like, "Oh, coming in, Frank Waganda. He's gonna come on and he's gonna replace Becky." And I'm like, I miss Becky. So yeah, there we are, and we just rocked it, and we don't get to rock it unless you guys listen. So thank you very much. Just great for us, and then hopefully other Canadians morning shows will go, "Hey, we need a show. We'll put them on here because we're on all over in the evening, and we're doing fine. We're doing good to fine, depending on where we are. But let's go. Let's get some of this live taste. You know,
Yeah.
get a little live. Okay. Thank you. That's the news. We are just a few minutes away from recapping Ray at Mike D's wedding. We talked about the wedding, the beautiful stuff that happened at the wedding. Not a raindrop in the sky. Mike D got married, said some beautiful vows. She said some beautiful vows. We were all emotionally moved. We had a taco truck. We danced the night away. But because kids weren't in school yet, we didn't talk about Ray getting completely hammered. And so that will be coming up in the next segment. Are you dreading this segment or are you cool with it?
No. Wife just said, please be very careful in how you would talk about it. And I will talk about me and however I really want to. But her, I mean, she had other stuff going on. So there was a reason she got a little sleepy.
Well,
and had to go take a nap.
no one mentioned her.
Okay, that's fine.
You're mentioning her
No,
right
but she
now.
wanted me to say that because some listeners were saying stuff online. Because she did at one point, she went and slept in the vehicle because she had to take Benadryl because there was a mosquito attack. So there was other situations why she wasn't feeling great. And I didn't know if Mike D knew that, but now he does.
Well, no one brought that up, nor were we going to.
I wanted people to know that because it wasn't her fault. Benadryl makes you sleepy. I mean, what else can you do?
Well, I thought, people in your comments were talking about Ray and Bay.
I just read a comment.
They were calling her
I don't really
out
go down
as
to the
well.
comments. I just saw Caitlin was fighting for you because she had like a sword. She was taking on like 10,000 zombies, one person with a sword. Like, whoosh, whoosh. Okay. Well, we will not talk about Bay. Only Ray. Okay, Ray?
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, Luke Combs, Forever After All, Bobby Bone Show. It's a voicemail we got last night from Tim in Naples, Florida. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
First of all, the downward spiraling of boxing, which is not for us here. Secondly, he wants to have his number given to Morgan number 2. So Ray, write that number down on the voicemail and just hand it to her.
Okay.
We
Sounds
are.
like a nice
she may
guy.
never call it, but we are people of our word here. And then Breaking Bobby Bones was on last night, 2 episodes. I was a stunt man. It was one of the episodes I really hurt myself. My neck was just in terrible shape for probably 2 weeks after that episode. And then I was doing demo. And so you guys can still watch it on the Nat Geo app, or you can buy episodes on Amazon, which I've been told. So they're up there too for like $2 or something. You can buy the episodes. So thank you for watching that. Appreciate that. Coming up, we'll talk about Ray last night at Mike D's wedding. We did highlight the wedding, Mike. I don't want Ray to steal. Are you upset Ray is stealing the show this morning about this?
No, unlike how he was upset when he told me I stole his thunder for getting engaged during his wedding.
That's true.
Yeah.
He did tell you
His
stole
wedding
his
month.
thunder.
Yeah, I'm not at all.
Okay. We will talk about that coming up next. Hit it. On the phone is Michaela in Wichita, Kansas. Michaela, thank you for calling the show. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I just called because I just wanted to say that on Friday, I remember Ray said that he was going to go hard at Mike D's wedding. So I feel like if Mike D had a problem with that, then he would have pulled Ray aside and, advised not to.
That's a good point. Mike is really not the kind of guy to pull anybody aside, though. Mike's
No,
kind of a live and let live kind of guy. Here's the thing about Raymundo at Mike D's wedding is that he didn't go hard at the wedding. He went hard at noon, and the wedding was at 5 o'clock. He showed up drunk to the wedding. So it wasn't that he got to the wedding and decided, I'm going to have some drinks. Because there was alcohol there. There was beer. There was margaritas. Ray showed up plastered. Thoughts, Ray?
Went to brunch, looked on the menu, and it said penny mimosas. What do you think is going to happen? I buy the table a bunch of mimosas. It cost me 10 cents.
No little voice in your head went, hey, maybe you should wait till a little later to go.
It's tough. I mean, went to town, and we knew we were only going to have one dinner. We were only going to have one brunch. We're going to have less than 12 hours to see friends. Tried to squeeze it all in, just didn't do it right. Time management, my bad.
There's a video of Raymundo on my Instagram at Mr. Bobby Bones where he is getting into a dance competition with a 12-year-old kid and is trying to beat him. He runs up and pops him with his chest. And he's on the floor. He's doing spins. He's throwing stuff into the dance. Like at one point, Ray had hit someone and beer had spilled all over the floor. So two people are down cleaning up the floor. Well, Ray jumps down to help them and then picks up the cloth and just throws it across the room.
Oh, boy.
At one point, Ray told a grandmother, hey, you want to go back to the hotel after this? Ray, you wake up the next morning and you see all these videos of you at Mike's wedding. What'd you think?
I was embarrassed, definitely. But at the same time, saw a lot of people smiling, saw a lot of people laughing, saw a lot of people having once-in-a-lifetime experiences. I don't know.
There's a picture of Ray. I don't know what he was doing, but because he got really touchy-feely with guys. Like he would run up and like rub all over guys, like their pecs and like their stomach and stuff. And so there's one where he runs into this guy and he almost knocks him off his feet. And Caitlin and I are standing by watching and our mouths are going,
Great picture.
because we thought someone was about to get hurt. But to Ray's credit, he was the life of the party.
I really wasn't trying to be, and honestly, there was times I was involving Mike's parents. I would push them in the middle of the circle and make them dance. I mean, I really did, still in my drunken stupor, knew that the whole point of the event was for Mike, but it was a celebration.
Yeah, what'd you learn from this?
Have a drink limit. I definitely didn't have one of those. I mean, I may have exceeded with fireball shots and the free keg. I mean, I might have floated the keg on my own. I probably should have kept caps so I knew how many drinks I had been consuming.
What's that mean?
Well, they didn't have them there, but usually you keep little caps from a can so you'll know how many you drank. And then you can kind of keep check of yourself. And my wife, she left a little bit, so I didn't have anybody looking after me. And I mean, I was just, honestly, it was
we were
a while.
all looking after you
okay.
in our own way. There were times where everyone was pulling you aside a little bit just to like screen you from, falling down. At the end of the night, they gave out little crack sticks, little glow sticks, and Raymundo grabbed like 10 of them and started throwing them at people as we're standing there waiting for Mike and his, now wife to walk down the goodbye lane. And then they're coming in. Ray starts throwing them at the bride and groom as they're walking down. And then a cup runs and hits Mike in the head. We don't know where the cup came from.
Yeah, it might have been me on that one. But, I mean, I'm telling you, in my head, it started out as a wedding, and by the end of it, it was a frat party turned to a nightclub. Oh. Sometimes you get confused, honestly, when you're drinking, and I'm pretty sure everybody else was going legitimately hard as well.
You think that you were confused as to where you were?
When I was throwing the glow sticks, I think maybe I thought I was at some sort of a rave, a crazy little party, because we were outside. It was almost no longer like a wedding atmosphere.
What's it like to be drunk? Just in general. Like, explain it to me, because I've never been drunk.
You're going a little bit obnoxious, but in your head, you're cool with that. It doesn't seem like right now, if I was obnoxious like that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. In the moment, you're not embarrassed. You have no worries.
At some point, I won't say who, they came up to me and they go, hey, how old's Ray? I was like, I think he's 35, 36. How old are you?
35.
And they're like, he still goes this hard? And I say, yeah, he didn't have kids.
And it's all relative, too. I mean, we moved to town. Lunchbox and Eddie were 35. They were going just as hard. But now that they're 40, they're all mature, and they're like, oh, my gosh, I can only have a couple drinks. But, guys, when you're 35, you're doing the exact same thing. So.
Ray, I got no problem with you. I think you were the life of the party. You were great.
Morgan
it was awesome.
Was as number 2 on the go hard list. Did you get drunk?
Yeah, well, it was towards the end of the evening. I was taking tequila shots with Mike's mom and sister. That was my special part of the evening. We were in the back, like sneaking. I think at the end of the night, probably
Sneaking?
had 5 tequila shots.
5.
Yeah, we were just kind of sitting back there, like enjoying Ray on the dance floor and trying not to get Ray's attention. So we came back there some more. So we came and like snuck Mike and Kelsey a tequila shot so they could take one with us. And I was really partying it up with Mike D's family.
Hey, Mike, talk about your wedding for a second. What was the best part of the wedding?
I'd say the best part was it didn't rain. So where we had our ceremony, if it would have rained, it would have completely ruined that part of it. And we got to have it down there, and the pictures look amazing.
What was the most surprising thing about the wedding?
That Ray made it.
Yeah, we were worried he wasn't even going to make it there. He
the
didn't
only-
come to Lunchbox. He was too drunk to go to Lunchboxes. He just showed up at the reception.
Well, we had a private chauffeur at lunch, and his wife pulled up and said, "Hey, we're going to be there at 4. You guys make sure you get ready." And we had people doing our hair. Billy was ironing my shirt. We were good to go by 4.
So you were most surprised they showed up?
Yeah, because I saw the story before of him getting there already kind of drunk. I was like, I don't even know if he's going to make it.
And then by the end of it, were you tired? Because you're the belle of the ball. Everybody wants pictures. You're having to also mingle. And like I'm watching you, I'm like, man, Mike's got to do a lot of work here. Because my wedding's coming up. Were you exhausted?
I was exhausted. I didn't eat the entire day. I don't even really like attention, so having to go around and interact with people, that was draining for me, but it was a lot of fun.
And what did you do leading up to the wedding? Any event with your boys?
No, we all hung out and watched movies. That's what I wanted to do.
And what movie did you watch?
We watched Cabin in the Woods.
Is that a scary movie?
Yeah.
So you watched with your boys a scary movie before the wedding?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched like 3 movies.
Dang, you guys had a movie marathon.
Yeah,
He's
movie
movie
marathon.
Mike.
Yeah, okay.
Makes sense.
Well, the wedding was fantastic, man. I hope you feel good about it.
I felt amazing about it. It was so cool to have everybody there to party, and that meant a lot to me.
And what was the last part again?
Oh, it meant a lot to me that
Oh,
all
yeah.
you guys went and were there.
Who traveled the farthest?
I think our friends from Seattle, that was probably the
Oh,
furthest
yeah.
flight, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one. Well, it was a great wedding. If you missed it, which are most of you people out there, you missed a party.
Are those Insta stories, 24 hours?
Well, no, on my Instagram though, you can see Ray on the ground spinning. Because we did a whole like Ray being interviewed in the airport press conference the next day. And how did Bay feel about your antics, Ray?
She said that she was embarrassed by them, but I believe she'll forgive me. We're still married. She loves me very much. Sometimes you can forgive some stuff.
My wedding's coming up. Are you going to approach that a bit different?
Definitely, it's a different type theme. I mean, this one we all said we're going hard going into it. Mike even put on Twitter, "Bring it." He challenged us.
Hey,
to
Ray,
go
I'm going to
hard.
put on Twitter. Keep it at home.
Then there we go. Now we know going into it. That's all you got to do.
All right. It was a lot of fun, though. We give Ray a hard time, but Ray actually didn't hurt anybody. We wouldn't have put it on Instagram if we didn't think it was funny. You know, people were like, oh, Bobby's putting it on Instagram. He must be so mad. No, if I was so mad, I wouldn't post it on Instagram. So great job, Mike.
Yeah.
Tell your wife, great job. It was just a fun party, and I'm glad that we could all be there.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. We'll take your calls if you want to get them in. We can move on from this, but we had to address it. 877-77 Bobby. We'll come back in 1 second. Amy choking over there. You all right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Air.
I saw the lights
was-
come on to talk, and Amy starts.
I know. I don't know.
Do Heimlich. Tell me something good. I save her life on the air. Come here.
I took in a breath wrong. I don't know what just happened.
Time marches on.
Yeah.
El Paso County Sheriff's Office arrested Casey Garcia, 30 years old. She apparently did this whole thing on YouTube where she was like, hey, I'm going to go to school like my daughter. She's 13 and act like her. Act like I'm her. And then recorded it and put it up. She put a hoodie on, a face mask. And then
wow.
did you see this at all?
That's crazy. Was it like a case study, or she just wanted to see if she could get away with it, or she
I
just
think
wanted
it's
to-
for like social media.
Yeah,
No. She wanted to prove that the security system had weaknesses.
Oh, there you go.
I think it was for social media again.
But she also proved that same thing. I mean, that's kind of crazy that you
So
could
she
get away
went-
with that.
Yeah, she went. She got caught and charged with trespassing on school grounds, posing as a student. One of the videos that she titled "Going to the School as My 13-Year-Old Daughter," quote, middle school edition.
Wow.
It shows her wearing a yellow hoodie and a black face mask, taking selfies in a restroom and eating what appears to be school food. See, if you were just doing it to get through security, you get through it and you go, all right, look, we got in. But she was really living it up. Detectives conducted an investigation, obtained 2 criminal warrants for her trespassing and tampering with government records. Deputies later located Garcia at her residence, took her into custody. She also documented all of her encounter with authorities on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely wanting those views and those
You
clicks.
got to get that.
For sure.
She was booked into an El Paso County detention facility on both charges and for an unrelated traffic warrant. See, don't be doing stuff if you have a warrant out for you, too. Her bonds total $8,000. She posted a YouTube video. This is her story of why she did it. So 2 things. One, if you put a hoodie on and a mask, I could probably go and pose as her 13-year-old daughter. You can't really see anything.
Well, I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe.
Unless they're doing like mask checks, you can't, like the airport. When I go to the airport, like take your mask off, let me see your face. All right, here it is. Yeah, it looks like you. Go ahead. They probably should be doing that at school. But she tried to go a whole day. I wonder what her daughter thought about this.
I know. I was wondering, where's the daughter? And then did she have to like take any quizzes or tests? And hopefully she did well.
And oh yeah, she failed her test. And also, you know, I wasn't gonna post the school. We were gonna know what school it was. You put it all up on social media. But yeah, she's in trouble, and she should be. I mean, think of that as a man,
Oh, big. That
yeah,
was bad,
creep.
bad.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, she's a woman, and we don't see it the same as if it were some dude sneaking into a school. There's another story about a girl 20 years old. She, you know, like I take this purple drink that I have here. I scoop it out. It's some kind of amino acid that I have in the morning. But if you try to eat the scoop without any water, 1, it's hard to swallow. And then 2, that's right into your system. So there's a dry scooping thing that's on TikTok where people are trying to dry scoop stuff. And so this girl, 20 years old, had a heart attack from dry scooping.
Oh no.
What would she scoop? See, I know people do cinnamon. That's impossible.
That's the one that's hard to swallow. They're
Yeah.
like, you have 60 seconds. So the TikTok trend is big with digital fitness influencers where they swallow big pre-workout, a non-FDA regulated caffeinated substance that people mix with water. It's basically
Oh
this,
my
just
goodness.
not as hardcore.
She had a heart attack.
Mine's not as hardcore. Yeah, she had a heart attack.
It's terrible.
Quote, I never thought something like this would ever happen to me because I'm so young. She was in the middle of having a heart attack. First responders didn't think she was in cardiac arrest. They were like, hey, maybe it's anxiety because you're about to, you know, dance. But they were like, nope, it's a heart attack. But I imagine everybody's body reacts different. If you happen to have one of those that reacts in the wrong way to something like this, the crap's going to happen to you.
I know. That's usually, I mean, people see someone else survive it online, so they think, but we're all made up so differently that your body could respond like that.
You know what we used to do? We used to do the deodorant, the spray, and you just hold it up against your skin until it burns.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
You guys
I
ever,
remember
in the
No.
field house of football, that's what they would do. I say that I didn't do that. I was scared, but they would. That was like the trend.
that.
So they did it to
cold.
themselves?
Yes,
To
you do
show
it for
how
as long
tough
as
you
you
are?
could. It's
Wow.
spray yourself in the field house.
That's what y'all are doing in the
I
locker
never
room?
felt like I was tough, so I never had to prove how tough I was.
Yeah.
But that's what everybody was doing. That was the old school viral challenge. Let's go over and talk to. We got a lot of calls here. How about Stacy in Arkansas? Stacy, you are on the show. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning, studio.
Morning.
Morning.
First thing, I just want to say I have a Hyundai Palisade. I've had it for a year, and it's my favorite car I've ever owned.
It is fantastic. I love driving that thing around. Yes, thank you. I didn't do that. Free commercial.
Anyway, you were talking about crazy stories earlier, and this weekend we had a 7th grade basketball tournament here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and a 7th grader took a swing at a referee. Only missed the referee because somebody pulled the referee back, and then 2 parents started swinging each other and fighting, and it turned into this whole big brawl.
Wow.
Man, when kids go after refs, that's crazy stuff.
Not good.
And you know what? It's probably in the home before it gets out to the court,
yeah.
you know?
I'm like, we need to manage some things elsewhere.
Well, that stinks. Stacey, appreciate that call. All right.
Thanks. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Here's the thing. Fayetteville, let me give you good news. I'll be watching the game. Arkansas is playing in the final, the regional. We have 2 games going on at our house today. Obviously, Arkansas baseball, I'm watching it. We're playing Nebraska. Loser goes home. But then Oklahoma softball is in the College World Series. And I've never rooted for Oklahoma in anything. However, the head coach of the Oklahoma softball team is a family friend. And so now I'm watching Oklahoma softball yesterday, like totally into it. Like, come on!
Yeah.
Never in my life have I rooted for another school other than Arkansas doing anything. It's the weirdest thing. We went to a restaurant yesterday and watched the Oklahoma softball game versus James Madison, and I'm like, come on, you get. And I'm like, oh no, what's happening to me? I'm being influenced by my fiance in a way that I've never been influenced before. But we also know the head coach, Patty Gasso, of the Oklahoma softball team. So maybe that's part of it
So
too.
what do you do if the Arkansas
There's no question.
softball team
There's no Arkansas.
plays?
No question.
Okay.
Stop.
But no, I didn't.
Nope. No question.
Okay.
Always number 1.
I know. So, okay.
Caitlin could be coaching the Oklahoma team. I'm still rooting for Arkansas.
Oh, is that right?
That's right. Thank you.
Okay.
I said what I said, okay? Let's play Dirk Bentley Gone. Bobby Bones Show. Hit us up if you want. 877-77-Bobby. But I will say, go Hogs. And I won't say Boomer, but I'll say go Sooners.
Thought you were going to do it.
No way, man.